Slides are an important aspect for getting realistic sounding guitar playing from a MIDI keyboard. A slide is just where the guitarist plays a note and moves it up or down the fretboard without re-attacking the note. So instead of having distinctly attacked notes, you get a smooth transition between them. I want to show you some different approaches to playing slides from your MIDI keyboard. The first method is, like I just did, to play the slide as a series of grace notes. This works great for shorter slides. When I'm recording a guitar part from my MIDI keyboard, this is typically how I'll add in slides. So beyond that, we also have slide articulations available among the articulations. Here's how to set that up. So if I scroll down, you'll see there's a couple different options for slides. There's the velocity slide, which bases the speed of the slide on the velocity of the destination note. There's a quarter note slide, eighth note, and 16th note slides, and those are all tempo synced. I usually use the velocity slide because I feel like it gives me more real-time control over the speed of the slide. So I'm going to assign that to velocity, and I'll leave the range of the condition to the full range of 1 to 127. And then that way the velocity slide articulation is always going to get triggered. Now, all of these slide articulations replace the usual legato handling. What that is when you play overlapping notes like this, you get a hammer-on in that case, and then if you overlap them descending, you get a pull-off. So when I have the slides enabled like this, instead of playing hammer-ons and pull-offs, it'll play a slide. And then, as I mentioned before, the velocity of the destination note controls the speed of the slide. So if I play this note really quietly, it'll play a slower slide versus playing it loudly, which gets more and more instantaneous the higher the velocity of that destination note. So by default, the maximum range for those slides is a whole step. So from this note, I can play a whole step down. If I try to play a minor third down, it won't play a slide, I'll get a distinct note. And then similarly, if I play upward, I can play a whole step up to the E and get a slide. But if I play an F, they'll play at the same time. Now, if you want to change the maximum distance for the slides, you can go to the setup section and scroll down until you find the slide settings. And there's these settings right here, legato, range, up, and down. And by default, they're set to 2 semitones, which is a whole step. If I want to be able to play a minor third, I can always increase those, and then that way I can actually slide up to the F or slide down to the B. Or you can actually set it as high, up to, 2 octaves, 24 semitones. So I mentioned before that when you're using slide, any of those slide articulations, it replaces the normal hammer-on and pull-off legato articulations. So if I just turn off these slides, now suddenly I can play hammer-ons and pull-offs, up to, what did I set it to, 2 octaves? Yeah. So unless you're playing some crazy, Van Halen type tapping part, you might not want that. You might want to keep the hammer-ons and pull-offs limited to 2 semitones, but then what if you still want to be able to access those wider slides? So to do that, if you scroll down, there's a separate slide range setting right here. And if you enable it, you get 2 more settings, and that gives you a separate range for the slides instead of both the hammer-ons and pull-offs sharing the same range as the slides, using those settings there. And then that way you can have your slides have a range of whatever you want, but your hammer-ons and pull-offs can still be limited to 2 semitones. Now if I go and enable the slides, so if I have my slides set to a key switch, for example, let's put that on the C-sharp 1 right there, and then that way I can play hammer-ons and pull-offs, and they're still limited to 2 semitones. But now if I hold down this key switch, I can play wider slides like that. So hopefully this video was helpful in showing you some different approaches to how to incorporate slides into your playing from a, whether that's playing from a MIDI keyboard or when sequencing in your DAW. Thanks for watching.